Hey everybody, it's SmallgGay. I thought I'd just give you a delayed entrance to make you think of Andy Warhol. I was just gonna make it like a Warhol movie, like like a Warhol movie, What are you doing? What are you doing on the couch? What are they doing? I don't understand. What is that? What is that? Oh, it's Andy Warhol. When I was younger, I used to, you can hear the birds. When I was younger, there's always been this war between Warhol and Jack Smith. When I was younger, when I was little, I was for Andy Warhol. And then as I grew into such a complex East Village personality, I was for Jack Smith. Now, in case you guys don't know, they were the competing underground filmmakers in New York City in the 1960s. And Andy Warhol turned out tons of movies, tons, and he became this household name. He just manufactured them, and he reveled in his commercialism. I mean, not only did he revel in his commercialism, but his studio was called a factory, and he mass-produced his paintings, and other people directed his movies, and it was all just mass-produced and really fabulous. Now, Jack Smith, on the other hand, was this ardent freakazoid obsessed with Maria Montez, who basically only made 2 movies in his entire life. I mean, real, complete movies, so to speak, because he kept changing them. The Flaming Creatures he's most known for, which, in fairness, was a big breakthrough in censorship because it was always getting busted. Now, when you watch it, it's so tame. It doesn't even. It looks like a RuPaul video from the '90s or something. As far as the level, not the style, it's much more stylish than RuPaul. Anything RuPaul did, but the level of, I mean, come on. All my Christian friends could watch it and they'd be bored. Like, oh, there's a drag queen, oh. But there was always this kind of battle between Smith and Warhol. I think this is going to be a 2-part vlog already. Because Smith thought of himself as the real artist, and that Warhol was a sellout because Warhol was a capitalist. And Smith was so ridiculous. I mean, he was almost like a parody of the true artist, in that he would just labor over his work. He finally, in the 70s, he would make his films so that they were never the same twice, so that each viewing was only once. They were never released. See, there's some more Warholism. I have to scratch my back. There's some fingers, see? Andy Warhol, factory, see? That kind of professionalism we're used to from Warhol films. Where was I? Jack Smith. Yeah, he would make his films different each time and put them in different orders so that there was no final cut, and so that each time it was screened, it was a once-in-a-lifetime event, and they were never released on video. I mean, except illegally later after he died, And then it was kind of like, this is what the reputation was built on all these years. And he was obsessive. He was a narcissist. He was just obsessed with his apartment and redecorating it to look like a Maria Montez film, which admittedly is a noble goal, but it's kind of like, who cares? Fighting the landlord because he couldn't make it look like the Grotto and Cobra Woman, which is again a noble goal, but my God, think bigger. And you compare Jack Smith with Warhol. And I can remember Warhol, who brilliantly saw the drag and transgender explosion way back when in the 70s, and he's hanging out with Candy Darling all the time. And it's he and Candy Darling. I don't remember if Jackie Curtis was there. I think it's just he and Candy Darling at a museum being interviewed by some dumb leftist reporter who's taking him to task for making money off of his art. And Andy Warhol he's like, how can you make money off your art? And Andy Warhol just blandly says, I don't know what to tell you. Got to bring home the bacon. Andy Warhol supported his mother. He lived in a lovely apartment, collected wonderful, crazy things, left a legacy. All the people knock Warhol for exploiting people. Every single one of those people got an incredible chance at fame, and most of them are still famous because of their association with him. And they've dined on it for decades. It was a two-way street. They used him too, you know. But I'm thinking about all of these issues, about super capitalist Andy Warhol, a stylish, apolitical, gay icon. Because I'm thinking about all these people that are so confused now about how could gays be for Ann Coulter? How could gays be watching Fox? Or how could gays be leaving the left? What has the left ever done for gay people? I've talked about this before, but it just makes me livid. For decades, gay men prided themselves on being free-thinking. We were not these dreary, PC lesbian types at all. You know, I mean, the left has done nothing for gays. Ever! You know, I mean, the left is all about conformity. It's all about, you know, digging potatoes somewhere for the good of, you know, Siberia, the troops in Siberia. You know, everything about the left is dreary and not at all gay. When I think of gays, I think of fabulous artists, glamour, fashion. Now, I know that a lot of the gay conservatives would be angry at me for being stereotypical, but that's my opinion. I think of fabulous people like Andy Warhol, who consorted with the rich and famous and made millions. You know, I think of achievement. Andy Warhol was a genius and a man of achievement. He reinvented the way we thought about art. Not only that, but Warhol was a radical capitalist in that he celebrated popular culture. You know, these crap movies today that all we do is complain about, he would just wallow in them. You know, he wallowed in plastic, trashy, mass-produced culture and made life fun. There's such a shortage of that kind of pop sensibility, you know. It's like there's a little bit of it here and there, like the Twilight movies, for example, the Expendables, you know, where people are already remembering the lines to it and they have their favorite characters and their favorite scenes and their favorite battles. The Twilight movies are the same way. I told you guys when I saw the Twilight movie and all those kids were laughing and enjoying it together, I was like, this is just so much fun. It's just like a fun, dumb movie, and we're all getting off on it, and we're all getting a kick out of it, and you're having a great group experience, and it's just like a fun pop thing, you know. Instead of like, oh, how can you watch a movie like that? It's not serious. There's no seriousness to it. It's not intellectual. It's not about saving the whales or how we're all going to die in the greenhouse effect any minute. It doesn't have any importance about the workers and their plight. This dreariness is so un-gay. It is so un-gay. How can you be a leftist and be gay if you're not a total conformist? How? I mean, I don't understand it at all. I don't understand it at all. Now, I know that there's a lot of gays on the right who are all about, like, they would say that Warhol was a narcissist and all the people who followed him were narcissists. Well, you're probably right, but they were funny. At least they were entertaining. I'd much rather listen to Candy Darling or Holly Woodlawn rattle on. I mean, I love listening to Candy Darling doing her Joan Bennett impersonation. You know, a girl has to have a $1,000 wardrobe just to make a good impression. You know, I'd much rather listen to that than some damn hippie lecturing me about Whole Foods or how I can't shop at Target or I need to recycle. Or, you know, come on. There's nothing wrong with that kind of narcissism that's pleasant, amusing, social. Makes people laugh, makes people feel good. They're performers. Totally different scene. Totally different scene. Style, as opposed to fashion. Real style. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, I don't want to live. I don't want to be a conservative in a uniform either. Okay. You know, do your own thing, like Andy Warhol. Damn it. SmallgGay, signing out.